Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I just got back from my annual trip to Korea, and this time I tacked on Japan as well. I bought a lot of exciting items, and I thought I'd show you in case you are also planning a trip to Korea or Japan. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. I'm going to start off with Korea first, and specifically brands you can't really get your hands on in the US or the brands that are different in Korea. I talked about this a little bit in my last Korea video, but Korea has a tendency to take a brand that's a bit more international and really make it their own. Brands like National Geographic's, Kodak, they all have a huge presence in Korea and release a whole fashion line around these brands. The one I particularly really like is Fila. In the US, Fila is present, but they're very limited models because it's not a very famous line. However, in Korea, Fila is one of the most popular sneaker brands. In particular, a style called échappé. Échappé is a line of Fila sneakers that come in multiple models, and it's just not available here. It is feminine yet modern, and it's really geared towards women. I knew that going to Korea, I wanted to check out Fila's échappé lines. And the pair that I picked up are these shoes. I'll leave the exact model name down below, but essentially what caught my eye was this diagonal lacing that made the shoe a little bit more unique than your average pair. The shoe runs pretty narrow, so I did size up in one, but like all sneakers, it's quite comfortable. I went back and forth between this particular pair and a green pair that I loved because I think that shade of green goes wonderfully with all neutrals. But in the end, I ended up going for a piece that had a bit more of accent, and I didn't have any chunky shoes in this color palette. I wish that we had access to more Fila items in the US because their ready to wear is also incredible. I didn't pick any this time, but one of my favorite shorts that I own are actually from Fila. So if you ever go to Korea, I cannot recommend enough to check out Fila. The other brand that I also love to check out when I'm in Korea is Umbro. Umbro, I believe, is an Italian brand, don't quote me. And they barely have a presence in the US, but in Korea, it's quite big. Not as big as Fila, but it's still around. And I went to an outlet mall with my family and found this pair for 70% off. It was incredible. I had to size up a whopping 2 sizes on these shoes. And I think that's the thing about Korean shoe sizes. They all vary a lot depending on the brand and the model. So it's really important that you try them on. I was already looking for a pair of brown sneakers, and I think I found the perfect one. These are incredibly comfortable, versatile. I wore these throughout my entire trip and ended up being my favorite sneakers. I thought about buying like Onitsuka Tigers when I was there because that's the thing to do when you're in Japan. But honestly, I'm more interested in things that are not viral, things that people just don't have yet. And when I saw the huge lines of people waiting at Onitsuka Tiger, I got turned off of it. And so I was really glad that early in my trip, I had purchased these 2 sneakers because I really feel like they're one of a kind, especially here. The third pair of shoes that I got, I actually ordered online. I asked my family to buy it in advance for me because I had seen it reviewed by a YouTuber that I like to watch. And I think we got it from 29 centimeter, or I think that's what the site's called. But they are also sold in Muzinza, which is a brand and a store that is present all throughout Seoul. So I think you'll be able to find these in store. But these are a pair of boots from Salt and Chocolate. Now, I've been looking for comfortable walking boots for quite some time. And what's incredible about these is that the bottoms are actually like sneakers. And another thing that I look for when I buy boots is that the calves are wide enough because I have quite big calves. So when I saw these being recommended as really comfortable, I knew that I had to have them, not to mention the price was incredible. What's really special about these as well is because they're so wide, they're really good for tucking in jeans. My favorite 50190s fit into these and look amazing. But you can also make this a little bit narrow here in case you want to achieve a different look, perhaps wear it a little lower with stockings. These were comfortable right off the bat. I bought them in my normal size and they're a little bit loose, which is honestly ideal for a pair of boots. The one downside is this is synthetic, so your feet do get sweaty. But for the price and the design, I couldn't pass it up. I would have been willing to pay more for a leather version, but this is all I could find, and I'm happy with it so far. This is the kind of pair of boots that I will be happy to bring on a trip because it's so thin and packs light that it wouldn't take up a lot of space. It's comfortable enough to wear like all day, like 20K steps, no problem. Yet they're stylish. And I think I'm always looking for comfortable shoes that are stylish that I can wear, whether that be on a weekend when I'm out and about or traveling. So really happy with this purchase and honestly the brand itself as well. I definitely want to get my hands on a couple more pieces from this brand. The next item has a bit of a story. So in Korea right now, there is a trend going on that's called 김장조끼. And what that is essentially these floral print fuzzy vests that grandmas wear in the wintertime, maybe when they're making their like annual vat of kimchi. And Karina wore it, Jenny wore it, so it's gone viral. So if you go to any markets in Seoul, you see them all along the streets. They're only 5,000 won. And it's really fun sifting through all the patterns and picking the one that you like. I went to one looking for a vest because I do like layering vests over sweaters. And then I found this. I'm not doing a very good job showing you guys. This was a long sleeve version of that grandma vest or 김장조끼 that I immediately knew that I was going to wear more than a vest. It is so incredibly fuzzy on the inside. And, you know, it's a little grandma, but in the best way possible. Like, I feel like this is the kind of jacket that like Celine or even like Damson Matter would release. Yet the price was only 15,000 won. Like, I could not believe it. I wore this all around my trip. And even my family was just like, you bought that at a shijang, which is a market. You paid only 15,000 won. And why does it look so stylish? Oh my gosh, I think I gotta go shopping there because, you know, typically like those places are not known for fashionable items, but I feel like you can always find something hidden there that's amazing. This was one of them. I feel like this really is a perfect coat for California. All right, let's move on to Japan. I've been to Japan before, but always with family on a group tour. So this was really my first time exploring on foot. And like a lot of people, probably like you if you're watching, I did a lot of research before going to Japan. I had specific brands I wanted to check out, as well as serendipitous moments that I was hoping to have. And I knew that I was open to a vintage designer. I think we all know by now that Japan is the place to go for vintage designer. I, over the last couple of years, have really realized that rather than buying the new trendy luxury pieces, like in that Polen Songmont vibe, I would much rather spend that money towards a little bit battered up, older vintage pieces that have a story and have better craftsmanship, honestly. So when I was in Shibuya, I went to a couple of those stores and honestly, I wasn't really feeling anything. I knew that I wanted a Loewe bag because that's like my favorite brand, but also I was open to others. I definitely knew that I wasn't interested in like a Chanel or a LB just because, you know, I want something that not a lot of people have always. And I went in with skepticism because I know that Tokyo and especially in Shibuya, the prices are the highest. So, you know, if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. It wasn't like my highest priority. And one day we were walking around a neighborhood called Daikanama, I think that's what it's called. And we popped into a Kindle. Now, vintage stores in Tokyo are really intimidating. They're either massive and have so much to step through, almost like a thrift store, or everything is behind glass doors. You have to wear gloves, understandably so. And it's just a lot to take in. And this store was tiny. It was in a quiet neighborhood with not a lot of tourists at all, actually. And it was such a nice break from having been in Shibuya the day earlier. And we walked into the store, and there was only a rack of bags, and there was maybe like 10 to 15 bags only. And I picked up a piece that immediately caught my eye. I would say, other than Loewe, Celine is the one brand, vintage Celine, that I really like. And the piece that I saw was this. I love the shape of this bag because it's a rectangle, which I think is so unique. On the inside, there is a divider with a zipper, which means that even though it's a tote bag, I'm able to keep some of my items safe, like my wallet, gold hardware, the old Celine logo, of course, and a long enough strap that I could wear it in my shoulder, which is my preferred type of bags to begin with. And I saw this, I'm like, oh, that's cute. I checked the price. I think it came out to $260, which is probably the lowest price that I'd seen in all of Tokyo for a bag like this. Like, I didn't see any bags under, I don't know, like $600-700, which still would have been a great deal. But for some reason, this bag that's in very good condition was only $250 or $260, and I could not believe it. Shoulder tote bags are my jam, and I just knew that I had to have it. I feel so lucky that I was able to find this piece in Tokyo in one of the more famous areas for this price. I feel like I hit the jackpot. Even the lady that cashed me out was like, oh, good price. So I can't wait to love this thing. I'm gonna use and abuse this bag, and I love that. Like, it's already like not perfect. It's already a little soft. I'm not gonna be so precious about it, despite it being a designer bag. Like, I love that. So very happy with this purchase. Now, let's get to the beast. The majority of my clothes that I bought came from Uniqlo. I love Uniqlo. Who doesn't love Uniqlo, honestly? I especially love Uniqlo because their colors are great and their pants in themes are perfect on me. I honestly didn't think that I was going to go to Uniqlo because even though Uniqlo could be a little bit cheaper in Japan, like, these are all the items that I can get in the US. So I would rather save my luggage space for items that I can't get my hands on. But we went into Uniqlo because I honestly needed a new coat. One of the coats that I had brought was a brown leather jacket. I love that coat, but it was so heavy. And the thing about traveling in the winter, especially in Japan, is that it's really cold outside, but as soon as you go inside, it is scorching hot. And when you have a really bulky jacket like that, you got to hold on to it as you're shopping. And it started weighing on me, on my arms, my shoulders. So I wanted to buy like a packable puffer jacket. I went to a couple other stores, couldn't find it. And in the end, I'm like, okay, let's just go to Uniqlo because we know they have it. I just need something for right now. Ideally, it's something that I would be happy to wear. That doesn't make me feel too sporty, like it goes with my style. And we kind of went nuts in Uniqlo. And that's because prices are significantly cheaper than the US. Like, honestly, like $30-40 cheaper than what I see online in the US. Like, I was comparing in my app and I was amazed. And the second of all, they have a lot of items in stock. For example, all the collabs that Uniqlo does that sells out in minutes, that's all available in Uniqlo. And then thirdly, Uniqlo Japan has more color variations than the US. So once I realized this, my cart grew. One thing to know, I don't think you need to go to the Ginza store, the flagship store, unless you want to get a custom shirt, which you can totally do in New York as well. I think it's honestly better to go to like a neighborhood Uniqlo. It's everywhere and it's going to be a much quieter experience. And chances are they're going to have tax free just because you're in Tokyo. So let's start off with that jacket. This is the puffer that I got, and it's actually men's small. I actually wanted a puffer that didn't have a hood, that didn't have that stripe pattern that everyone has that makes it look so tech bro. So I was looking for a jacket that was packable, but also something that I would want to wear with my outfits. And when I saw this color, it was love at first sight. I wish it had come without a hood because I think it's the hood that makes it a little bit more casual and a little bit more, I don't know, it's just like harder to style. But I just could not let this color go. Like most men's jacket, it runs a little long, but it does have an elastic waist at the bottom, so I'm able to tuck it in and get it to a length that I like. And once I started wearing this jacket throughout my trip, it was like an immediate comfort. It photographs well, it keeps you warm, and it's so lightweight and so easy to carry around. I could just shove this in my backpack if I didn't want to wear it. Honestly, like, is it the most stylish coat? No. Is it functional? Yes. And is it cute? I think so. And they do sell this in the US as well. So if you're interested, you can check it out. One of the collabs that I was really interested in buying from Uniqlo was with Needles. Needles is a Japanese brand. And when that got released, everything sold out within minutes. I couldn't get my hands on it. But when I was in Tokyo, everything was in stock. And I did pick up this one piece. This is the one that I wanted. It's just a classic fuzzy that Uniqlo's known for, but it's a little bit more special because it has this diagonal zipper. And I got this in size small, which worked out really well. I think it goes without saying that this is really wearable and cozy. I am so glad that I got my hands on it. My husband bought the purple version as well, which is equally beautiful, and I might steal that from him. So if you are on the lookout for a sold out item from Uniqlo, definitely check it out in Japan. So the next couple of items that I got from Uniqlo are these cashmere cardigans. I got it in cream and gray. I was looking to add cardigans into my wardrobe. I really don't have any that are thin like this because I think they are the perfect layering piece and the perfect accessory, whether you wear them around the waist or on your shoulder or just wear them with the buttons in the front or in the back. I think cardigans are so versatile, and I can't believe it took me this long to realize that that's missing in my wardrobe. And these are the cashmere ones. I think like the price difference was like 50% less than what it costs in the US, especially because there was a sale going on at the time. I couldn't believe it. Had there been more colors that I was interested in, I would have bought more, but I bought these two. I also bought this sweater from the Uniqlo C collab, which, if I recall, they never really came out with this color in the US. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have this version in white from the year before, and I love it. It's a cotton sweater that feels so luxurious and so soft. And honestly, I wear it all the time. And when I saw it in this color, I mean, I loved it. I love this like deep, rich blue. And it did have matching bottoms, so I had to pick that up. And I got this in size small. I also have been really into tying plaid shirts around my waist. I think it's just like a really nice way to define your waist and add a little bit of an interest in your outfit. And when I saw this in the men's section, I had to get it. I got it in a size medium because I wanted it to feel loose. It's a flannel material, so it's really cozy. So it would be really ideal for winter. I'm having a moment with brown and pink or brown and baby blue right now. So it was perfect. And I thought it would be really well styled with my last item from Uniqlo, which I'm wearing right now. So I'll just do the cutaway, the bear-like pants. I have them in two colors, and I knew that I wanted to add the brown pair. That often is out of stock in Uniqlo US, and I found all the sizes in Japan. And of course, the price was a lot lower than back home. So I'm really happy that I got it. Another brand that I was really interested in was Muji. Muji has a couple of stores in the US, not anywhere I live, and they do have an online presence, but I knew that the selection was a lot bigger in Japan and that the prices would be better. I specifically went to the Muji Labo store, which is their more, I guess, like upscale line that you can find in Daikanyama. Yeah. And the first thing that I got was the sweater. It's a wool sweater, beautiful baby pink. I love the roll neck. It's cozy, but it's thin, which I think is ideal. So I had to pick that up. And then the next thing I got was actually a summer cardigan. It's black and it's quite sheer. And these are the kind of basics that I always need. Like, this is the perfect thing to layer over a dress when, the AC is lasting. But these are the type of items that I never think to buy because they're just not exciting. Like a black cardigan, to me, is not an exciting purchase. So I find myself often looking for that when I'm getting dressed. So when I saw it, and it had an incredible discount because it was off season, I picked it up. I think it was like less than $20. Okay, last but not least, some headpieces because I love my accessories. I went into this store called Override, which I think has a couple of stores in Tokyo, and it was like love at first sight. There are a couple of things that I particularly look for when I'm in Asia that is made for Asians, honestly, and it's hats and sunglasses. Sunglasses because of our lower nose bridge. They just need to be built differently. And hats because honestly, our heads are a little bigger. So in this store, a lot of the hats had wide brims for our bigger heads and really flexible hats. And I picked up two that I absolutely loved. This one is a fuzzy brown hat that I feel like I used to own this when I was like 16. But I feel like this looks so cute. And it ended up being my go-to hat while I was traveling because on some days it was actually quite cold. It goes with everything. It's brown, it's neutral. Another thing that I got from Overright, I don't know if you can call this a hat, but it's essentially like a bandana. And the way I wore it in the trip was around my head like this and tied it. And honestly, this is so cute, but also it is really perfect for when the weather's not that cold because you're protecting your head without covering it all. Like, there's obviously a lot of airflow in the back here, so it's not obviously ideal for really extreme winter. Also, it doesn't ruin your hair because you're not putting something on your head and like creating like hat marks. So I really like this. And then when I was hot, I would just wear it around my back like this, almost like a shawl. I wish that I could have bought this in a lot of different colors. The only other color that it came in was gray and yellow, and that just wasn't my palette. But I know I'm going to be on the lookout for designs like this. It's incredibly soft, cozy. I absolutely love this. Japan has so many cute stores. I do have to say a lot of the clothing stores that were really recommended by influencers being a bit younger and therefore the quality was not great. However, if you want to buy like cheap accessories, those are the places to go. And I think I bought this headband from Nico and I don't know. I'll insert it below. And it's just, holidays are coming. It's really festive. I really like black headbands because it blends into my hair, but the jewels really pop. I actually wore this last night to my company's holiday party, and yeah, I felt really good. Last but not least, Montbell. I feel like Montbell is a brand that Americans don't really talk about, but Koreans talk about. It's essentially like an REI of Japan, where you can get a lot of good athletic pieces for a reasonable price. I was really excited about going to Montbell and perhaps getting a jacket, but honestly, nothing really spoke to me. There was one jacket that I really liked, but it was $250 and it felt a little too athletic for me. And I'm really happy with the one that I got in Uniqlo. But I did get this headband. I thought the color was really pretty. I'm not going to put it on because I think it's going to ruin my hair, but I love blue. And it has a cute little Montbell logo. And this is the kind of thing that I would wear like hiking or going on a bike in San Francisco in the winter. So I wanted to at least buy something. Okay, that was a lot, but I think it's not unusual for someone to go to Korea and Japan and come back with a lot of fashion items that they love. Honestly, shopping in Asia is so fun. I look forward to it every year. I can't wait to do it next year. I hope from what I bought, you got some ideas and got more excited about your trip. and I'll see you next time.